Good evening, this is the New Dawn FM News in English, read to you by Aloysius Laukai. First, the headlines. JSB set for next Friday. BRC project assets distributed to support Bougainville peace process and development. Acting Chief Secretary thanked donor partners for supporting Bougainville. Director acknowledges UNDP for successful referendum process, and Minister stood up for the BRC assets to be given back to the region and assures that referendum process be his major concern. Now the news in detail. The first Joint Supervisory Body JSB meeting for 2020 will be held in Arawa next Friday. Earlier reports said that the JSB would be held in Arawa this Friday, 6th of March 2020. However, it was confirmed by the Director of the National Coordination Office for Bougainville Affairs and COBA, John Anuma, yesterday. Mr. Anuma did not release any information on the agenda for this meeting, but said they would discuss today or between ABG officials to set the agendas for this coming JSB. UNDP resident representative Mr. Dirk Wagner has urged the ABG departments that received the BRC project assets to take good care of the assets. Mr. Wagner, in his speech during the handover ceremony yesterday, said the donors have agreed that all the assets procured under the project will continue to benefit the people of Bougainville. He said the departments must look after these assets and also make budget available to make sure these assets are maintained to use in the years ahead. Mr. Wagner said the assets were distributed based on requests received and efforts were made to accommodate all requests. He said the distributions of the assets were made in a manner that they benefit everyone. The recipients of the assets are the Office of the Bougainville Electoral Commission, Department of Post-Referendum Consultation and Dialogue, Department of Community Government, Chief Secretary's Office and various ABG departments through the Office of the Chief Secretary. Other recipients of the assets are through the National Government of PNG, to the National Coordination Office of Bougainville Affairs and the Bougainville House of Representatives. The Acting Chief Secretary, Thomas Rivet, on behalf of the Bougainville administration, has extended his sincere gratitude to the donor partners for their support towards the conduct of the referendum process. Mr. Rivet, during the handover ceremony of the BRC project assets yesterday, said that the Bougainville administration is very grateful for the donors' continued support and for also making the resources available. He said Bougainville administration is struggling for financial support and the assets were given at the right time, where these gaps will be filled with the help of these resources. Mr. Rivet said that the Bougainville administration will look forward to more support from the partners as Bougainville goes through the consultation process and for building up the public service capacity. The handover takeover of the BRC project assets to the ABG does not symbolize the end of one journey that has come to an end, but symbolizes a new chapter that is about to begin, he said. You're listening to New Dawn FM News in English. Director of the National Coordination Office for Bougainville Affairs, John Anuma, sincerely acknowledged the UNDP for the very successful referendum process during the handover of BRC assets ceremony yesterday. On behalf of the national government, Mr. Anuma appreciated the presence of developing partners, Japanese government, New Zealand government, Australian government, who attended the ceremony. Mr. Anuma said that he understands that the UNDP and the national government made commitments that supported ABG achieved a very successful referendum last year. He also assured to continue to work with the ABG government and the UNDP to make sure everything runs smoothly in the post-referendum process. Now to end the news. Minister for Post-Referendum Dialogue and Consultations, Honorable Albert Punga, stood up for the BRC assets to be given back to the region when asked on the floor of the ABG Parliament as Minister for Referendum Peace Agreement Implementation. During his acknowledgement speech at the handover of the BRC asset ceremony, Honorable Pungao revealed that he strongly opposed the idea raised by one of the national representatives to give the BRC assets to other parts of the country. When opposing the idea of giving away the assets, he said that these assets are now being kept in custody of the UNDP, that they are kept for security reasons, and the decisions will be made by the board of these contributing countries. He extended his word of acknowledgement to Dek Wagner, resident representative in the UNDP, for a stand that he took that they now can distribute the assets to the respective departments of Bougainville government. Honorable Pungao also assured that the post-referendum process is his main concern now as a minister, and that he has the confidence and trust in these contributing countries that they will continue to work together until consultations and ratification process ends. This has been the New Dawn FM News in English. You can also see our news on the websites on www.bougainvillenews.com, www.bougainville.taipei.com. You can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter. On behalf of the news team, I'm Aloysius Laukai. You have a pleasant evening. Good night, and one kind news long Tok Pisin me Aloysius Laukai Beridim. Number 1 Joint Supervisory Body or JSB meeting below 2020 by Holim Long Arawa Long Friday come. Past time we binga Tok or some JSB by Kamablo Arawa Long Friday this week. That's all. Director of National Coordinating Office for Bougainville Affairs and Koba John Anuma Aste Ibing Talk only mark him next week, 13th March or some meeting or JSB meeting by Kamablo Arawa. Anuma no release him when I'm all Tok or agenda by Kamablo meeting. That's all I'm talk by Tok one time all ABG officers that long look lo agenda long display JSB. UNDP resident representative Mr. Dek Wagner emi singar lo ABG departments usadi bin kisimol asset lo BRC mas lukati mo display asset. Mr. Wagner long Tok longen lo display enova ceremony aste emi talk although he agree all this asset or my usually met inside long Bougainville emi talk department he must look out mo this asset na put money long maintaining more asset or some Morgan staff long time. Mr. Wagner talk asset or distribute him, behind him made all ask him, or being kiss him. Now the time to long behind him mogad ask him long all this plus something. And we talk this plus all assets or scale him or some by Ogada line benefit or line which are being kiss him all is something. Office of Bougainville Electoral Commission, Department of Post-Referendum Consultation and Dialogue, Department of Community Government, Chief Secretary Office, na all plan the all offices, Tabanil Chief Secretary, ABG departments, all Napa, Usadi bin Kisimor or something, online plan National Government, na display Igolong National Coordinating Office belong Bougainville Affairs and Copa long using inside long Bougainville. Acting Chief Secretary Mr. Thomas Rivet, Makim Administration lo Bougainville na mi talk thank you long all donor partner usadi be halivim lo put money long display referendum. Mr. Rivet be making sa talk long end of a ceremony long all BRC assets as the lo buka mi talk Bougainville Administration mi ham maestro long all donation he come long supporting work long all lo money short on by more something. And the Bougainville Administration, Yoklo no got money long this plaka in time or some na this plaka become a good plow. Mr. Rivet talk Bougainville Administration by look yet law more support. You come long all partner, long time consultation process, long building public service capacity and about take over lo BRC project assets, long ABG, Emino come up as a marble on this block, walk about us all, and we start long new plot chapter long Bougainville. Director of National Coordinating Office long Bougainville Affairs, John Anuma, and we talk sabe to una look sabe long UNDP long and we album display process long referendum. Na embos the talk and make him long time long and over long BRC assets long buka aste long name long national government Mr. Anuma emitok amas long country or some Japan, New Zealand, Australia who's already been come up long this time long end of all these assets. Mr. Anuma itok was emi looks up at UNDP na national government he been working commitment long work one time ABG long display successful referendum emi talk service ABG by continue long work one time UNDP long make sure display all work or make him emi come up with long display time post referendum process. Now long penicillin news Minister of Post referendum dialogue na consultations Honorable Albert Punga emi sanap strong long all asset lo BRC I must use him long inside the region time emi make him talk longan long time only give him all asset go long all departments Mr. Punga we talk was him and being opposed him or not be like him through tinting where only been talk was him all his assets by all his get him too long on la province time and make him talk no asset emi talk all his asset only stable lookout the UNDP display long charge by security na behind body making decision long in by only scaling long all sat only mark him emi talk amas long Dek Wagner resident representative lo UNDP long sanap longen lo make sure the distributing models asset long all departments lo Bougainville. Mr. Punga emi talk amas tu na talk osem post referendum process emi tinting or worry longen long this time na emi like him by people in must get trust. Honorable Punga emi talk service lo time lo post referendum process emi got big plabili was them or this contributing countries or partner started to be alibi lo peace process by step one time immediate in a time emi finish mogota walk about ego long ratification. Display Pinism News on FM News long tonight. You can look at all news from our website on www.bougainvillenews.com, www.bougainville.taipei.com. You can find me platform on Facebook, na Twitter. Make news team news on FM. If you are laukai, you got good plan.